Asylum Life, March 6, 2025, with our special guest, Zack Freedman of Voidstar Labs. Zack, say something profound.
It's Voidstar Lab. There was only one lab. I don't have multiple words.
Only one lab. So, if you're not familiar with how we do things around here, this is the only live podcast where you can personally probe the passion and perspective of the phenomenal producers and creators we love. So, ladies, gentlemen, and cyborgs, and my peanut gallery, I'd like to introduce you to Zack. Zack, first question.
Hi. You drained all the alliteration. What the hell am I supposed to say?
I know, right? I tried. It didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, but I tried. So, hey, first question.
Hit me.
What is the nuclear option?
Oh man, you're starting at the beginning. The nuclear option is the oldest video on my channel.
Okay.
I should say it's the oldest public video on the channel, and it was a briefcase I made for my Magic the Gathering decks that lit up when you opened it up. And why did I even make a? So the video is literally just a demonstration.
It was like seconds.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I only recorded that because I was submitting that project to an Instructables contest, and the contest required a video.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I did not win the contest.
Okay. You didn't win the contest? Who won the contest? Do you remember?
I don't know. It's not me. I don't give a shit.
There you go. All right. All right.
I can cuss, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, good, because I can't do that on my channel.
That's true. That is true. I like that little bleep you use. That little bleep, like the little electronic bleep. Whatever.
The little bit of interference.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what.
Oh man. So all right. The reason I'm rolling my eyes is because so I get almost all my sound effects. I try to make a point to use the crappiest stock assets available because it's funny.
Okay.
So most of my sound effects come from this site zapsplat.com, which is like the first place it shows up if you search free sound effects.
Right.
Except the interference sound effect. That one came from a different site called Partners in Rhyme. That I think they have like little samples for to like put in your mixtapes. Anyways, this now means every single video I have to put another credit into the bottom of the video.
Yeah. And
that is the firstest world problem. And every time I do it, I just remember, I shake my fist at 2020 Zack, being like, damn it, why couldn't you record your own damn interference?
Well, and you know, your end of your video, the whole credit system that you have to read and everything is always so crazy.
Oh, I mean, my patrons really, I really should, like when I said, hey, if you support my channel, I'll read your name out loud. You can make me say crazy things. I really should have left that last part off.
Yeah, they kind of, I think they change their names from week to week periodically just to make you say different stuff.
I'm aware. It's actually become a problem. Like the people are making their names so elaborate, and people are making their names so elaborate that, like, combined with just the normal growth of the campaign as the channel grows, the credits are like 20% of the video now, and I don't think the YouTube algorithm likes that very much. So I've had to start abbreviating things. Wow. And I've had to like go back, and I have a little script that randomizes the names to make it more fun to listen to. And I have had to jump through all kinds of hoops to make that script recognize when people change their names.
Right. Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of work. That's probably the last thing as a creator you want to do is add more work to yourself, right?
Yeah, I don't like working in general. I like making projects.
Yeah.
Anything that's not making a project to try to get out of doing. But yeah, the script is, look, the script is work, and this script, not the script for the videos. This is a script that makes part of a script of a video, because it finds all my Patreon patrons and randomizes them.
Right. I gotcha.
But no, that stuff is important, because like, these people are giving me the courtesy of, these people are paying my bills. Like, at least I could do is randomize their names so people don't like skip as soon as they hear the same name 4 times.
Right. Hey, hold on one sec, guys. So I'm hearing some YT people talking about the volume is off. Is Zack quieter than me? Am I quieter than Zack? What's happening here?
My check. Test.
Need some more information. We got good on the TT. The YT seems to be the issue. So somebody text message real quick.
How's that even possible?
I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. TikTok
Maybe it
volume
hates
is
me.
good.
Oh,
Okay, I'll
God.
keep watching and I'll adjust as we go. Zach
It just
is
wouldn't be right
quieter.
to.
Zach is quieter, so let me bump Zach up. I'm
Shall
hearing him
I?
fine in my ears.
Shall I? What do they call it in what do they call it in like actor school? When
Project
you
your
really
projection.
yes. Shall I
Yes,
project?
of course. Yes, all my meters look good and everything. Let me
All
know.
right.
Let me know if that's better, guys. I've pushed it a little bit more. I feel like he's overmodulating a little bit on my end, but we're gonna go from there. I can't push him up too much more, but we will see. What mic is Zach using? The
I'm
one or
using.
the two?
Hmm? Oh, this is not
Yeah.
this is not high quality enough to make a podcast with, but it's kind of attached to the headphones, so it's not much I can do about it.
Yeah.
What would you guys do if I just whipped out a pair of scissors and snipped it off?
Snipped it off.
All right. No, I'm using this is an Audio Technica mic that I bought a long time ago. Back when I briefly had a Nerf podcast, but I stopped doing that because I just couldn't help myself from cutting out all the ums and ahs in these hour-long podcasts, and
Right.
it was consuming my life. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I told you before the show I will talk about literally anything,
I
literally
know.
forever.
And that's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. Those are the types of guests that I really, really like. So, next question. What are you drinking?
Oh, right. So this cocktail is called The Gods Must Be Lazy, and this is one of the cocktails from my last April Fool's video, where I played an alternate reality version of myself doing a Turing test to see if a bunch of cocktails were made by a robot or made by a human. This here is this really bizarre daiquiri that has like Czech clove liqueur and
Never even heard of
like
that.
and reposado tequila. And this is one of the cocktails that I was absolutely sure was made by an AI, because what kind of human could come up with a combination this crazy?
Yeah.
But nope, this was made by a human.
That sounds interesting. What's it taste like?
It's a drink of my failure. A lot of molasses, a lot of fruit, a lot of spice. It's sort of like it's like a daiquiri that's kind of had an existential crisis,
Okay.
but like not the kind of existential crisis that makes you become a hermit in the woods. The kind that makes you make really good blues songs.
I gotcha. That really good blues songs. So I'm drinking Lefroy. I don't know if you know Lefroy.
Just straight up Lefroy out of a mug.
That's the one out of the coffee mug.
Lefroy, yeah. Oh, I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Although I admit I don't buy it anymore because it's really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this
Oh no,
was
I
a
love
gift.
smoky scotch.
This was a gift. I don't have any friends around me that will drink Lefroy because of the taste.
That is a problem, keeping a bottle around for special occasions.
Yeah. And so
well, luckily here in Colorado, we are blessed with a number of phenomenal single malt distillers. So that's why I'm not buying any. That's why I'm not buying any Isla Scotch, because I'm spending all my money on American single malt. Seriously,
right.
you haven't tried Spirit Hound or Stranahan's? You are missing out.
Stranahan's I've tried. I have not tried the other one though.
Oh, Spirit Hound. They make great booze. Their bourbon's excellent too.
Okay. I'll have to look at that. All right, guys. I think Zach is quiet. Now he's really high. So we're going back and forth. We're having a lot of fun here. It's like a roller coaster ride on the audio. So I'm going to leave it right there. We're going to see. Oh, we got somebody. Brooke J921 is saying,
Who the hell is that?
Spirit Hound
Wait,
is so good.
Women who watch my videos?
Apparently.
That's my wife. That's the joke. She's my wife.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you for watching. Let's see. We got a lot of things in here. So we got volume.
Oh, so what did Brooke say?
What did Brooke say? She said Spirit Hound is so good. So, hey, Brooke,
I like a woman with good taste.
how do you feel about the sound? How's it feeling now? Ooh, hello?
Wait, who the hell is calling me?
Hello?
Why is my phone's on Do Not Disturb? Oh God. Why telemarket me now?
Awesome.
Why'd that get through?
Awesome. Yeah, I know.
Ugh, why'd that get through the
Telemarketers.
do not disturb?
How would you fix that? Like, what should we do in the world to stop telemarketers?
Well, you're on TikTok, so I can't say it.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, you get deplatformed.
That's true. Okay. I get the picture. Y'all probably get the picture. Oh, Brooke says she's calling you.
She's
Anyway.
calling me
Okay.
she's calling me an idiot.
What does she call? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So that's what she
Oh,
calls you.
she calls me a loaf. That's the
Oh,
pet name. We call each other loaf, like a
a
loaf of bread.
loaf. A loaf.
Yeah.
That's do you watch Severance? Do you watch any TV at all? You don't
I
eh,
watch occasionally. I watch a bunch of
okay.
anime. I've been catching up on Supernatural because
Oh my gosh.
for inspiration for an upcoming video.
Okay. Such a long watch.
It's a work thing. Oh,
It's good. Such a long watch
it's an
though.
over the top show. Great props.
Yeah.
Um, those guys do their homework. I appreciate attention to detail.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then Fringe is another one during that time period that I
Oh
really,
yeah,
really
Brooke and I
enjoyed.
watched Fringe a while ago. That was fun. I liked Warehouse 13.
Yeah, that
I
was a
think
fun one.
it was called.
Yeah.
It's like if the SCP Foundation were whimsical and fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. No, I love that one. I love that one. So let's see. I'm gonna just kind of look through the chat rooms one more time, and then I'm gonna start moving forward, guys, because I think we're good. This is why we start 10 minutes early. Y'all can help me with this stuff early on.
Yes.
All right. So we talked about the nuclear option. You had the cards and everything. So now, like, cards seem to be a thing of yours. That there's like a thread of Pokemon, and just where
Well,
does the card thing come from?
well, basically throughout my entire childhood, like card games were like my hobby. So yeah, like I played tons of games. I played Pokemon, I played Yu-Gi-Oh, I played the Harry Potter card game, the Neopets card game, Magi Nation, Duel what is it called? Duel Masters, and probably a whole bunch of I'm forgetting about. And Magic, of course,
And
tons of
of
Magic.
course.
Yeah, so throughout my entire childhood and a bunch of my adulthood, cards were really important. I used to be religious Jewish, so card games are one of the most fun things you can do on Shabbos when you can't go anywhere, use any electronics, or
Right.
basically if you don't like sports and you don't like studying Torah, you're gonna spend your Shabbos playing card games. That's
Okay.
kind of what got me hooked. Uh, honestly,
No,
Honestly, the I was playing cards all the time until basically until the pandemic, when it became too dangerous to go to card stores, and then it got caught up doing YouTube stuff, and now I just don't make the time for it. I would like to get back into playing some Magic or something. Although Wizards of the Coast is acting like a bunch of buttheads, so I don't want to give them any money.
what about
Can't win any
MTG?
can't win anymore. Yeah, Magic the Gathering.
Okay. All right. I don't know card games to be fair. It's always intrigued me. I've known people who played them, but it's never been anything I've been into. I always thought it was weird throwing cards down and ooh.
I mean, one of the beauty of card games is kind of like you can modulate. Kind of like the players have control over how seriously they take it based on kind of what power level you build the decks to.
Okay.
So so one of the things that makes these games so fun is that if you want to like put on your serious pants and build like a hardcore tournament deck, you can do it. But if you just want to be, goofy goobers and see who can hit each other with the biggest dragon, as long as all the players agree to it, you can do that too. I'm actually working on a commander deck right now. Commander is like a casual format of Magic where
Okay.
every card is an alliteration. And I just finished it by finding an esoteric Northern Indian language that has an alliterative way to say the word mountain. So
No
now
way.
So now all but one card is an alliteration. And that one card is it's German. It's got a V and a W. They sound the same. I'm sticking to it.
That is awesome. So now, where does your wordplay come from? I always hate saying you have a love of words. It's not so much that. But
I would agree that I'm more of a writer than anything else. But the wordplay showed up by accident. Honestly, I think early on when I was writing scripts, I was editing them a lot, and sick of seeing the same words over and over again. pardon, started to have fun with it, and I didn't really think much of it, but people kept talking about it in the comments so much that I think for one video I just made the entire intro an alliteration just to spite those people, and the comments were obsessed with it. People are always talking about it, so like now I always make a point to sneak at least a little alliteration in.
Yeah.
I've also found it's a good filter. It's a good filtering mechanism. I find that the types of people who like alliteration and puns are the types of people who make really high quality viewers, and the
Okay.
types of people who don't make alliteration, who don't like who don't like wordplay, they tend to be the ones. I'm guessing they're the ones that are not going to stick with the channel long term. It's kind of a little strategic
I
almost.
gotcha.
I yeah.
Yeah,
The-
that would make sense. And it's. I think ever
No,
since I heard the word alliterative, I just like saying it, so I like using alliteration. Um, it's
it
just
is
a
a
good
nice it
word.
is a nice sounding word. Yeah, I like assonance too because it has ass in it.
Yep, yep. Acetation. That was one we always we always liked using because as a good little Christian boy, you can only talk about donkeys when you use that word, and um, but
Absolute. Huh? Oh no,
you
go
couldn't
ahead.
call somebody a donkey directly, so that's just you never could use the
Not
word.
unless you're Gordon Ramsay.
What? That's very true. Very true.
Ew, donkey.
Now, are you a Gordon Ramsay fan? Do you watch a
Uh,
lot of him?
I think sort of. I haven't watched the newer shows because they're bad, but I think I've watched
Okay.
every Kitchen Nightmares and every was it Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen was good. What did you think of the New Orleans Kitchen Nightmares series? Did you watch that one, the one they were getting ready for the Super Bowl here recently?
No, oh no, I haven't watched any of the
Okay.
newer seasons. I heard they were bad, and I don't want to spoil my I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But so one of the things I love one of the thing that kind of got me into watching Kitchen Nightmares was living in New York, which I no longer do anymore, despite everyone
Okay.
thinking I still live in New York. Anyways, a lot of the restaurants they feature are in New York, and it
Mhm.
was a lot of fun to go, oh, hey, I know that place. I've walked by that place. Oh, no, I ate their food. Oh, no. Maybe I should see a doctor.
Oh no. I always wonder, like, if he was coming to my restaurant, I would change everything before he got there.
Well, a lot of people do. That's part of what causes problems in a lot of these places. But yeah, it's part of what causes problems in a lot of these places. Honestly, the hospitality sector has like, bars, restaurants in general have just always fascinated me. Like I just because of circumstances, I've never really had a service sector job.
Right.
And I don't know, some part of it's always fascinated me. Like I always hear such terrible things about it. I always wonder like how long could I last?
Yeah.
Maybe yeah, maybe once I get bored of YouTube, I'll like become a bartender for 10 minutes until I get fired for like, I don't know, throwing a drink at a customer or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That would work. I'd have to be like the front door receptionist, I think. That'd be about the
Hey,
only thing I could
like
handle.
I like drinking cocktails. That must mean I'm good at making them,
There you
right?
go. There you go. That's speaking of cocktails, the Dead Rabbit in New York.
Oh, I went there dozens of
Oh my
times.
gosh, beautiful place. Beautiful. I
Oh,
love that
so
place.
much fun. Took
Uh,
I schlepped my so I went back to New York fairly recently for my brother's bachelor party and his wedding, but the bachelor party is what we're talking about. And I schlepped the entire party to the Dead Rabbit because everyone was kind of they were kind of devolving into that, hey, I want to go someplace else, but where do we go? I don't know a place. And because I knew that no matter how full it is, like you can always jam another 20 people into the Dead Rabbit, and we sure
yeah.
did. Those guys are pros. Best Irish coffee in New York. If you haven't
Uh,
been to the Dead Rabbit, you gotta jump on that.
Definitely go. It's a great place. Great,
It's
great,
a
great place.
classic.
What's
A
up, Courtney?
classic.
How are you doing, Modern Magician? Good to see y'all.
Order
We
the
got
pot pie.
Kaylin Latera. Yeah, the pot pie. They do some really cool drinks there. They really, really do. Just different, very
They
unique style.
I will warn you, they batch all their cocktails. So if you like the whole experience of like watching someone like jigger everything out and
Hmm.
I'll do all that, you're going to be disappointed because they
Okay.
batch everything. But they are great cocktails.
Yeah, they are. They are. Good to see
Strong
everybody.
too.
Hey guys, keep sharing this out. Let's get some more people in here. Let's keep
Yeah.
introducing more people to Zack and just
Yeah.
getting to build this conversation and find this story that is happening in his life. I think if you watch his videos, has a unique perspective on so many things, and so just like to step back and kind of see where those perspectives come from.
Oh no.
Oh no! So you started in New York. Did you grow up in New York?
So I was born in upstate New York,
Okay,
and I was born
like
in upstate New York.
Albany, Poughkeepsie.
Uh, it's called Amsterdam. It's near
Okay,
Albany and Schenectady. It's
okay,
uh, you know towns around it.
okay.
Anyways, yeah, we were born up there, and that was during like kind of the dot-com bubble and burst. So my whole childhood, we were my dad would get a job here, the company would collapse, find another job there. So we went to Connecticut, another place in Connecticut, a bunch of places in New Jersey, and then basically out of college, I had a client. I had a client who was making like basically climate control systems for buildings in New York, and one of their buildings had a completely illegal, partially finished, crappy basement apartment in New York's West Village, and I took it because the West Village rules,
Yeah.
and I like being in New York, and yeah, that's where I met Brooke. So
Okay.
I did spend almost a decade
Yeah.
in New York City, but yeah, basically. So yeah, at the time I was like a prototype developer, sort of like an engineer mercenary, almost engineer's professional title. I don't have the degree, can't call myself an engineer, but I
Okay.
did engineering style work for lots of people.
Okay.
Um, then pandemic happened, and I'm like, well, crap, I can't get any more clients. Like I got my clients through like trade shows
Mm.
and meetups, and well, there are no more trade shows and meetups, so there goes my whole career. So the original idea with the YouTube channel was to do something that might generate me a little money, but if miraculously we got basically something that if the pandemic went on for 4 years, could possibly be a career.
Okay.
But if we somehow got a grip on it, I could use to promote my freelance work.
Okay.
So that was the original idea with the channel, and my first assumption about the pandemic going on for years was right. But the channel also worked. So I quickly dropped that whole. I quickly dropped that whole. I'm a prototype developer, and really only left the Void Star Lab part in case the IRS audits me and wonders why I've been writing literally everything off on my taxes. That's also why my extremely outdated intro video on my homepage still says I used to develop prototypes,
Okay. Okay.
because
I was wondering about that.
I haven't changed it. I'm
I might,
extremely
I
lazy.
might have that screen. Let me see if I can. Do I have
Just
that
go on.
screen?
Just go to youtube.com/Zack Freedman.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
right
so.
there.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me get right there.
Just be aware the background music is Creative Commons, but it might
Yeah.
not be licensed commercial.
Yeah. It'll be okay. Now I love this. Now was this created off of a lot of your initial videos?
Yeah. So this was yes. This all these videos were shot well before I moved. Uh, oh yeah, that's why I was talking about this in the first place. Because
Uh-huh.
like I start doing YouTube during the pandemic, and we're doing the videos out of the Fat Cat Fab Lab, which it's a great hacker space, but the acoustics were terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, why am I struggling to mop up this horrible audio and paying a ton of money for groceries when I can do this job literally everywhere? So, Brooke, so I at the time, yeah, Brooke and I had been married for a couple of years at this point, and Brooke was born and raised here here around Denver. And as it happens, Denver is one of the few cities in America where it's actually reasonable to get electrical engineering work.
Okay.
So it was an obvious move. Brooke could be close to her family. Um, yeah, Brooke could be close to her family. I can for the same amount we were spending for a crappy leaky basement apartment, I can get a house, and I'm still within driving distance of a micro center. So
Hey,
yeah,
that's a plus.
we lived in Colorado since 2021, and people still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, probably because everywhere says, except for like one place that I found says you're from New York,
There
And
is a Colorado flag in literally every episode.
oh, that is true. That is true. As I was, I always just kind of follow the social, and the social finally led me to the Colorado address. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh
Okay.
crap! Is that why? Are people like looking at my Instagram or something?
I don't, I think so. Either Instagram or getting to the website. I found like on one of
Oh
your
no, my
videos,
website is
I
extremely
found a
outdated.
second YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, for the streams.
And
I
so
love streams. I love streaming.
you
That
should
was
do
so much
more.
fun. I couldn't make money on it. It was just
Yeah.
sucking time. I already have such a hard time making enough videos to keep people, keeping their Patreon subscriptions up. Like I already make less than half the videos I should be making. Adding, a completely unproductive distraction was just not worth it. Even though I loved streaming, it was fun. That was so
Okay.
much fun.
Somebody's saying crappy leaky basement to crappy leaky water heater.
Oh well, now we're in our own house, and I'm not sure you can see it, but there's a huge chunk ripped out of the wall back
Hmm.
there because yeah, we had a leak, and I hired a guy to rip out the wall and replace all the plumbing because this is my house, and now I'm the one who decides whether it leaks. And you know what my decision is?
What?
My decision is no.
No, no. So no chewing gum or anything. You're hiring a
No
professional.
leaking. Oh, no leaks. No, chewing gum I can handle myself. You want some things right, you gotta do it yourself. Anyways, I think we may have migrated a little off topic.
No, no, you're good. You're good. It's all about finding your story and finding where you are. So we established that you were in Colorado. I do want to step back to New York. Let's do more of a New
Oh
York
yeah.
State kind of feel overall, because I know since you were there for a while, grew up there and then moved to Colorado. So you're pretty much there your entire life till then. Um,
Oh yeah. East
you
Coast until
uh,
2021.
a lot of people like to go back and kind of look at like elementary and high school, and where did your interest in electronics and that type of stuff come from? Did it come from back then?
No, no, I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't have this story. Like every single person except for me is like, well, when I was a kid, everyone knew I would be an engineer when I grew up. All right, look, when I was a kid, I loved taking stuff apart, but it wasn't to find out how it worked, and it wasn't to put it back together. It's just because I like tearing stuff apart. Like I like building stuff out of Lego, right?
Okay. You said
I
Lego. Yes, I like you even more. You
I mean,
said
oh
Lego.
god, I had so much Lego. That's the only toy I wanted.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, so like all this I never really made projects, right? Because I never made anything more complicated than like a magic trick or a Lego creation or something. Just cuz like it never really crossed my mind, right? Like I never
Yeah.
really had a need for it. Um yeah, but basically, if you build Lego and you take stuff apart when you're a kid and you like watching Bill Nye, everyone around you tells you you should be an engineer.
Uh,
This is terrible advice because none of those things have anything to do with engineering. Engineering is about using mathematics to make other people's designs make more money
right.
for less money. That's
Okay.
engineering. Engineering is about math. I am bad at math. I suck at math. I hate math. I went into engineering school and I immediately realized this sucks. I hate this. I will never be able to get through this. I'll never be able to get through this degree, let alone actually have a career in this. If this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life sucks.
And
And
and now you
basically,
use a lot of math.
well,
You have help with a
well,
lot of math.
I ended up changing majors to business because
Okay.
so I went to Stevens Institute of Technology, which also had an excellent business program. Basically, they had this really excellent business program taught by people who are all from high tech enterprises and startups and venture capitalists.
Okay.
So like it was really useful. It helped me a tremendous amount. It helped me when I was a freelancer, but also tremendously on the YouTube biz. All those professors left because they wanted to, the school wanted to become more academic. So take that,
Uh,
do it that way you will. Point is, I had a lot of internships and stuff. For one of them, I was researching cell phone stuff, and at the time, at the time the cutting edge thing was the accessory, right? Like the watch or the dongle or something that connects
Right.
to a phone, right? Like the Fitbit,
Right.
the you know, the Pebble. And one of the things that was coming down the pipe was heads up displays, and I thought heads up like this is the coolest thing ever. I want to build one of these things. And I taught myself everything I had to learn to be able to make a heads up display. And then I had a heads up display. I worked to a meetup. Someone's like, "Hey, you want to start a hacker space?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And kind of the rest kind of flowed from there. But
Now
yeah,
the hackerspace was that, where was that? What was
that's the Hoboken Maker Bar, and I
Okay.
believe they're still around.
Oh, cool.
I believe they're still around. What can I say? I make them for the long term. Um, but yeah. So basically, I never really made a lot of stuff when I was younger. Like closest, it was only in college when like I made like a Nerf blaster here and there. But it wasn't until I graduated, or it wasn't until I was about to graduate
Mhm.
that I really had a reason to dig in and learn this stuff to make this heads up display. And then I had something that forced me to keep doing it, the hackerspace. And then I started getting clients from it, which kept me going. If it weren't for all that, I never would have got into this stuff.
Okay. And we'll talk about the heads up display in just a second, but I think, and we've discussed this a little bit. I think that speaks a little bit to your philosophy of learning. And I want to talk about that a little bit because you have a
Or
very
lack
unique,
thereof.
I know you have a very unique perspective on learning. So give me the 10,000-foot view on that one.
Basically, I don't know how aggressive you want me to I don't know how aggressively you want me to state this, but
Go for it.
basic like the idea of what's the way of saying it? The idea of learning for fun is insane, and people who practice it are afraid of finishing projects. Full stop. The idea of learning for the sake of learning is ludicrous. Like, what is the point, right? Like like if you're learning for the sake of learning, what happens when you learn it? You're just like, oh, all right, that's it, I'm done. Like, how unsatisfying is that? Like, if you learn to make a project, instead you have this project, you could step back and hold it and be like, this is incredible. I made this. Nothing like this existed until I made it, and I couldn't make it until I learned how to do it.
Hmm.
Um, and also, but honestly, I think this idea of, oh, this is just a learning experience is an excuse for people to not finish their projects.
Yeah.
If you're going in building a project saying it's a learning experience, at any point you can just give up on the project and you can say, well, I learned it, I don't have to finish the project to learn it. like no, you
Yeah.
friggin' quitter.
And I'm not going to argue with
but
you.
also but also
I
more importantly,
Go ahead.
what is the purpose of learning if you don't use it, right? Like, the point of learning, the thing that makes learning valuable, the thing that makes learning worth doing, is using it,
Yeah.
right? So if the idea is, oh, well, I'm going to learn this now so I can use it in a project later, just make the project and learn it by making the friggin' project.
I love it. I love it. No, and so I'm with you on the learning and stopping. I have seen that a lot. Um and I have done that a lot. I am very much a learn and teach kind of guy. I like learning things and then showing people how to do things. That's a big thing for me. So when you say not
I
learning for
used to be
fun,
like that.
but
But that second part, I can relate to, because back when I was doing the hackerspace, I used to really think that way. But then I realized that, like, of the hundreds and hundreds of people who I taught all kinds of stuff to at the hackerspace, basically no one ever used it again. And I don't know, like,
okay.
that's basically why that's a big reason why I don't do kind of how-to videos on my channel.
Okay.
Because, like, you're not going to friggin' follow it. Get out of here. If you're going to build projects, you're going to build projects. You don't need me to tell you how to do it. I'm
Right.
just showing you what I have on my channel is options. I want to arm you with options. If you want to learn about them, you now know what to search for.
Okay.
And I think that's a much better option, in part because it also turns away beginners. I think there are enough YouTubers out there that service beginners. I don't think I need to be one.
Okay. No, and
But
that's a good niche to go. I think, and that's one of the reasons I enjoy your channel is just all of the information. Like you said, it gives me a direction to go when I'm looking for something, when I need to solve a problem or whatever.
well, I mean, and hopefully I am helping out before there's a problem to solve, right? Like
Yeah.
showing you options, what so you don't bark. Like, if you know you can print directly on fabric, you might not waste a bunch of time and money buying a vinyl heat press, right?
Right. Right.
It's like that's the whole philosophy of my next video. My next video, I'm basically taking a bunch of skills and filaments that I featured in past videos and using them to make a project.
Okay.
I've never really done anything like that before, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay. Then yeah. So you're completely self-taught. Electronics, 3D printing. What
I
other
well,
stuff?
I do have a couple years of engineering school that
Okay.
I partially paid attention to, so I won't say I'm entirely self-taught,
Okay.
but I'd say mostly. Oh no, am I running out of bandwidth here? What the
I don't
hell's
know.
going on?
You are glitching a little bit. I don't know what's happening. But
Let
it's
me know if the
clearing up.
audio gets unacceptable.
It's clearing up. It's clearing up. Um,
Excellent.
so, so what other types of things do you do that maybe we don't see on the channel? Do you do any type of laser engraving? What are some of the hobbies outside of the YouTube universe you have built?
Well, when it comes to making stuff, when it comes to making stuff, what you see is what you get. I don't, you know, bi- look, if I can feature something on the channel, I would like to do it because then in part I can write off my taxes, and in part because the more importantly, I get to do something I enjoy and also make a video at the same time. I don't need to feel guilty that I'm not, working towards the next video my patrons are backing. But yeah, stuff that doesn't appear. I like cooking. I like making cocktails. I consider myself fairly good at both of those.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot of time to do much else, but I've been trying to make it. So I have, yeah, I would like to play. I would like to get back into Magic, assuming I can find a group that's okay with me using fake cards because I don't want to give wizards any money. I play a bunch of video games, of course. Yeah, I've always played a bunch of games. They've always really been my vice.
What video games?
So right now I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm also very behind the times. I tend to
Okay.
play games long after. Playing a game when it comes out sucks because nobody finishes games anymore, right? Like a game's not worth playing until it's a year old at this point.
Right.
So like now I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I made my gnome barbarian look as close to me as possible, and I find that very funny.
That is pretty
Uh
funny.
they're a master of two weapon fighting because you have two hands. Might as well put a weapon in both of them. I'm starting to realize it's not the way the bard is trying to. Did I say barbarian? I meant bard. Yeah, I don't think that's the way the bard is meant to be played. But yeah, some other stuff I like playing. I like playing Warframe. Any roguelike, I've probably been obsessed with it at some point. Like,
Okay.
I think I put 1,000 hours into Binding of Isaac alone. Probably another 1,000 into Slay the Spire.
Okay. So see, you're gonna laugh at me. Like I don't play a lot. I used to be the WoW guy, the Quake guy, Unreal Tournament. I used to play a lot of that.
Well,
But now I
well,
am
I'm not very good at video games.
okay.
So I don't play multiplayer games.
Now I am the satisfactory guy.
I never got into those games. Everyone's like, you have to play. You love Satisfactory. You'd love Factorio. You'd love Minecraft. I'm like, no, I'd rather do this in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get that. Totally get that. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. We got somebody over on Twitch. Let's see. We got Mercury. Hello, Zack. I'm from your
Hello,
Discord.
Mercury.
How's your day going? By the way, as a university student, I went to university to learn more about my subject because I want to know more. And one day I want to add/create more information on that subject area. Is that valid? Or do you think I should create a object or project myself to be valid?
I mean, whether it's valid is up to you. I mean, what my opinion on it is irrelevant. I remember I didn't say it's worth doing or it's not worth doing. I said I don't understand it or it's nuts. Um, Look, it's up to you how you think the best. It's up to you to know. It's up to you. That's the way of saying it. It's up to you to understand. I mean, look, there's no way I can answer this without talking about the advice I give everyone who's starting a career, which is you've got this Venn diagram, right, of things you're good at, things you enjoy doing, and things people pay you for. Your objective is to nail the middle. If you're not in the middle, you're in an unsustainable situation and it'll eventually collapse. So your objective is to find that thing in the middle. If you can, so if advancing your field, if pushing the boundaries, if working on theory is what really gets you going, the question is, can you find people willing to pay you for it, and are you good at it? Because if it's all those three, screw me, right? like that's a viable path.
Okay.
I will say, I don't know. Again, this is kind of it's kind of a semi uninformed opinion, but the closer you are to academia, the more I think you need to keep an eye on the exit, because academia, from my understanding, is extremely political. And when it comes, and politics means volatility, in other words, you can fail because of something you have no control over. So you should really have a fallback idea for how to apply your work in the commercial sector. If I'm understanding the situation right,
Okay.
that's kind of the advice I'd give. But look, at the end of the day, there are many paths to victory.
Yeah. So it's almost kind of an eye of the beholder type situation, or you still want it to be something that's successful, but something that fits you.
And also bear in mind that, like, I didn't provide any evidence or logic or anything for what I said. And so you can refute all that by simply saying, no, you're wrong. Learning for fun is worth doing and everyone should do it. And it's just as valid as what I said.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to give you a break and let you drink some more of that drink, and I'm going to talk to everybody real quick. And so I'll pull you up in just a moment. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. It's good to see everybody. We got a lot of people hanging around. That is awesome. Keep getting your questions in the room. I'm getting them in there as we go. I might not do it immediately, but I will do my best to get to the questions that you have. But I just want to thank y'all for supporting the show, for being here. If this is the type of content you like, you know what to do. You know how to, do the likes and follows and subscribes. I don't have to tell you, y'all are a very smart audience. So do all that so you can know what is going on. If you want to get more involved, there's always the Discord. Now, he has a Discord. I have a Discord, and the Discord is a really, really good place to plug into the Asylum Life community. And we also have a website with a calendar. We have lots of events coming up that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But just come in, be a part of the community. Right now, we are over on Rumble. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. And then this episode is going to go out next week on podcasts, everywhere that you can find podcasts. So we're very easy to find. AsylumLife.com is a really good place to start, or the Discord. So, if this is your first time here, I do a show on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Every Thursday night is an interview. Every Tuesday night changes. It's kind of a variety show. Last week we had project night where everybody showed off their projects. We've had debate nights where we've brought people in to talk about certain topics and debate them and really get into it. I've got a lawyer who handles those, so we make it real. But we have a lot of fun guys in this community. So please jump in. Please come and join. And then also, get to know Zack. Like I always say, we bring people into this show to expose them to a larger audience. And if the things you're hearing from Zack as a person and the things that he's talking about, we're going to start talking about some of the projects and things that he's done. Get over there, follow him, become a part of his channel, become a part of his community, and support him. We want to support the creators that we love. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to bring back, I'm going to make sure I'm going to give him 2 seconds to finish drinking, and then we're going to bring him back up. There he is. All right. Not much of it's gone.
Oh, look at that. I got a lower third.
I know, fancy. Right? I try. So guys, the best place to find him is over on the Tubes of You. Is his main focus. That's where he posts everything. That's where he
pretty much only focus.
Yeah, engages in the chat and just does the thing that he does there. So why did you choose YouTube?
Makes money.
Okay.
People are on it. No, it was a calculated choice. Okay. My whole objective my whole objective, right, was to either promote the business
Right.
or make enough money to, make enough money to feed myself, buy video games, feed Brooke, buy her makeup, and save for retirement. And YouTube did that. TikTok was much more popular, but no one could figure out how to make money on it. I still think they can't. Podcasts, well, I mean, you can be successful with smaller numbers on podcasts, but
Mhm.
but like again, there's a promotional element. I wanted to promote my prototyping biz. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was all about the tubes.
Yeah.
That's it. I spent a lot of time on Instagram to find sponsors.
Okay.
That's a little bit of deep lore on the channel. Is my first bunch of sponsors were from Instagram. I would go on Instagram. I would look at look at other people making stuff that I was going to make on my channel, and whatever got advertised to me, I would reach out to them and talk about sponsoring my channel. That's how things. That's how we got things. That's how we got the company. That's how we got Frozen. No, not Frozen. Soraya. A lot of the early sponsors.
I'm seeing
The floating magnetic
prescription
thing.
dog food.
Yes, Rob needs prescription dog food. He has an ear infection that won't go away, and they think it might be his food.
Okay. It was just in the chat from you know who.
Yep, that's why we do the YouTube. That's where the numbers are.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say, the strategy I took, right, involving stuff like not doing beginner videos, right, making a lot of bad jokes, making esoteric projects like heads up displays. This is a strategy that will sticking to YouTube entirely. This is a strategy that will never make me mega millions, right? I will likely never hit 1 million subscribers. I will never make $1 million. The objective was to trade that high end to increase the odds of a medium victory. The objective was put food on the table.
Okay.
So is this a strategy I recommend? Absolutely, because everyone and their dog is trying to be a mega millionaire. Like it's always a good idea to do what other people aren't.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so basically on that, you're saying you're not trying to, your goal is not to achieve the most success on YouTube or to be the best. Go ahead.
Not only that,
Okay.
I will deliberately undermine my odds of that if I can increase my odds of making a middle class income.
Okay. Okay.
You got to know what you're playing the game for.
Right.
It'll consume you otherwise.
So now, do you play that more as you're trying to gain more loyal followers versus mass number of followers?
I think that could be a good way of saying it.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be a good way of saying it. Well, one of the problems I have. All right, so if you're interested in getting into content, I hate that word. If you're interested in getting into the content business, one of the most common pieces of advice, and also generally a good piece of advice, is to find a niche that you can serve. And when you find a video that takes off, just hammer that and make more of that same video. Right? That is generally a good strategy.
Yeah.
I don't like doing the same thing over and over again, so I knew I personally wouldn't be able to do that over the long term. Remember like the little Venn diagram?
Mhm.
The things I like doing, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. So I want an audience that is okay with me making videos about different things. So that's why even once we found successful videos like every filament, the top 10 printable projects, product reviews, even though those work, I still do lots of other kinds of videos because I don't want an audience that is here for one thing. Eventually, even if you don't get sick of that thing, eventually people stop watching.
Nope. We just got to pause. Give me a second, guys.
Oh no, am I frozen?
There we go. Now you're back. You're back with us.
Why could I freeze like this?
Hey, at least it wasn't a horrible
if you're
face.
watching, stop streaming video. I don't know why that would affect our upstream, but
and I
don't think this is me. I get 20 megabytes up.
Okay.
We got the good stuff.
Yeah, it could be me. You're here for me. It could
hello?
be. Can you hear me?
Are we okay?
I'm okay. Hey guys, give us a second.
Something?
Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Mic check.
Let's see.
Hi, people.
I
don't
can
know if
hear
anyone's
you.
actually listening. I don't have the chat open.
Let's see.
Because I'm very underprepared.
So I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh, better open Discord.
Uh-oh. Yeah, give me just a second, guys. We're having a little bit of an issue here. Give me just 2 seconds to kind of figure out what's going on. I'm going to jump over. I don't know if he's lost me or what.
Am I on the air right now? Oh, crap. Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Can you hear me? All right, we're going to wait for him to come back, guys. I'm going to kind of watch and see him come in. Thank you, guys. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for being patient. We'll get him back. We're gonna get him back. He's going to be here. We're going to try this one more time. Let's see. Okay, I see him. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hang on 1 sec. I can't hear you.
Okay,
I'm back. I live.
I'm gonna refresh myself.
Because it's sending my audio out through the microphone.
Ah.
You know what they say, to err is human, but to truly fuck up, you need a computer.
There you go.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I was wondering what was going on. I'm like, I've got everything here.
Sorry about that. I
okay.
have a very expensive commercial internet, and that really should not have happened.
Oh.
Anyways, hi. What was I talking about?
Welcome.
Right. Right. So yes, the objective is to get the objective was to get more than a loyal audience. I want an audience who's loyal to making, not loyal to me or loyal to any of the topics I cover.
Right.
I want people. So the niche I'm looking for is a bunch of niches. I want FPV drone, I want FPV drone makers who make their own drones. I want Nerf blaster guys who make their own blasters. I want post-humanists who are wearing heads-up displays. Whatever. I want people making stuff. I don't care what the stuff is. Those are the people I want to follow my channel.
Awesome. So when you get ready for a video and a potential topic that you don't know, this is going to cover a couple of questions in the room, and we're just, we're going to kind of, say like the Benchy video or any of these other videos that you have done, and it's not necessarily in your wheelhouse, right? How do you proceed at learning and getting to the quickest baseline of knowledge to start that project?
The Benchy video is kind of the odd one out. It's kind of the exception. That's one of the few videos where I decided the topic before I really dug into it. That ended up being kind of a mistake because the first video I wrote was dead wrong. If I had published that, it would have been a disaster. And so were the third, fourth, and fifth, or something like that. The conclusion I reached had nothing to do with how I started.
Okay.
Usually I already know a substantial amount about what I'm trying to do, and what I'm doing for the video is really verifying that and expanding that.
Okay.
And I discovered that stuff in the first place by just making a ton of projects and making challenging projects. I don't want to make the same project over and over again. I personally, I don't find it gratifying, and it's also not very healthy. But basically, I'm always trying to make new projects that push myself in some way, and that causes me to learn about all kinds of stuff. For instance, a great counterpoint is the Void Star video, right? Like, I made it's a very, very nitty-gritty esoteric programming topic, and I already happen to know it because I have been programming for a while, and I've really gone deep on, for instance, Arduino programming. And I already had enough knowledge about it to sort of flesh out the skeleton of the script so I could learn the rest to fill it in and expand it. But honestly, this is some real teachable stuff. You cannot count on studying stuff as you need it. You have to get the raw material ahead of time. You need a broad base of knowledge so you know where to go deep. And you only get that by needing it.
Okay.
You got to constantly be working on, and very important, constantly finishing projects that challenge you and force you to go deeper and basically hold yourself to higher and higher standards.
Right. So I would say the theme tonight is finish your projects, guys. Raise your hands if you have 5 or more projects under a cabinet in your house that you haven't finished yet. How many printed projects do you have that are sitting in a bucket somewhere in the attic or whatever? Raise a hand. I want to see hands because I know there's hands in this room.
Now, if you can finish all of those projects right now by throwing them in the trash. That's a conclusion. That finishes the project.
You are correct.
So a big part of all this is being honest with yourself. Like, are you really going to follow this through? Right? Like, are you really going to see this through the end? If you see this through the end, is it worth the extra effort? Because if not, just dump it. It'll take it off your mind. It'll take it off your soul, metaphysically speaking.
Right.
And it'll also clear out space for future projects.
Yeah.
You don't have to finish everything you start. Sometimes we begin a project and it turns out to not be as interesting as we expected.
Right.
That's fine. That's why I prototype my own projects. I don't dive directly into the project. I start by, like, for instance, with the Nerf blaster, right? The one I've been talking about making a video about for ages. And more time critical stuff keeps happening. I didn't decide to just dive into this project. It started out with me first prototyping the cylinder mechanism, and that worked. So I prototyped the magazine mechanism, and that worked. So I prototyped the pusher mechanism, and that worked. And suddenly I had enough to actually finish the project.
Okay.
So, like,
So
there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I'm sorry. This is very important.
Go.
A lot of people feel as though whenever they put work into something, there should be a reward for it. It's a psychotic mentality. It is caustic to your ability to do the things you want to do in life, and you need to get rid of it. Not every hour you spend will be rewarded. Work is not rewarded. Results are rewarded, and not all work makes results. So don't be afraid to sacrifice hundreds of hours of work if it frees up thousands of hours of work to do more important things.
Okay. That's some good advice, guys, right there. That's awesome.
That is the best advice I can give.
That is great. That is great. So I know people are wanting to see the I almost said it. I wanted to say Google Glass so bad.
Oh, well,
because I know you hate that, but I
exaggerated my distaste of it in the video because it was funny. My channel very much follows the rule of funny. Google Glass has really become the Kleenex of heads-up displays.
Yeah.
So this is the heads-up display. I didn't bring the computer part because there's no way you can possibly see it. The rig, I need to visualize it, is ludicrous. But yeah, I've been building heads-up displays for how old am I? Pardon. I've been building heads-up displays for probably going on 13 years, maybe more. And this one is really the highest order I've managed to make.
Well, now that one, as far as your creative, that's the third one that you've made, correct?
This is the third version I've made. This is the
for
third
the channel
version I've shown on the channel.
Right.
I've made a lot of heads-up displays in the past.
Yeah.
A lot.
This one really caught me. I didn't know, and we met at Remerf 2 years ago, and I saw it, but I didn't realize you had it magnetized on. You had the new headset. Your barrette that goes around your head.
I prioritized designing this specifically for the first Remerf.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, demonstrating heads-up display is surprisingly hard. So so Google Glass, for instance, was designed to be very easy to take off and hand to someone. It was very thoughtfully designed in that respect. Problem is, they didn't account for people's heads being different sizes, right? What happens is, sure, it fits you, but you take it off and give it to someone else, and the little swiveling display is now not pointing at their eye. They can't see it. By making this detachable, by making it come off the headband, now there's nothing blocking it, so a person can just maneuver it into whatever they can see.
Yeah,
I've never seen another heads-up display designed to be demonstrated.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. I thought when I saw you take it off on the video, I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" I thought that was great. And so,
I'm not sure if you remember this from the video, but every time I do, some of my hair gets trapped.
mhm.
So yeah, basically anytime I demonstrate my heads up display, my hair is being pulled the entire time, and I am just soldiering through it, crying a single manly tear when no one's around.
Right. Yeah. That is cool. So we have the heads up display. Now, one of the things that I had watched your channel, but the one thing that really pulled me in was Gridfinity. Gridfinity was like the definitive
Ooh.
moment of stepping into your channel. And like
Did you start with the first Gridfinity video, or was it one of my community
the
stuff
very first
videos?
Gridfinity video.
Awesome.
And so I have so many drawers in my house, even in my kitchen, that are now Gridfinity.
Ah, wonderful. And here's the question: how well did the Gridfinity grid fit in the drawer without it, like without leaving any voids?
I always, in my kitchen drawers, I always had about half an inch left on the edges, but it was pretty easy to print some little pieces of plastic to hold it in place.
Gotcha. Europeans and European furniture like IKEA tends to fit Gridfinity really well because of
Okay.
the millimeters, the millimeter scale I
Millimeter.
used.
Okay.
But yes, Gridfinity, I didn't really expect people to. I thought when I uploaded it, I kind of knew like this is a really solid project. I think people will like to print this. I never expected people to build off of it though. That really caught me off guard.
Yeah, the
The Gridfinity
iterative
community astounds
properties
me.
of this project have been amazing.
It's awesome. It is
Yeah.
awesome. The community has done such a phenomenal job taking Gridfinity to not the next level, to levels I never even imagined.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the project as it stands now is so much better than I released it.
yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. And it's spawned other people to create kind of their own systems and different things.
If folks aren't aware, Gridfinity is a modular storage system in which you have like little bins to hold small parts and little custom fit sockets to hold tools, and they magnetically attach to base plates. And the idea is you have all these different base plates you can attach to whatever surface you have, and you have all these special holders for whatever tools and parts you have. And it is one of it's quite easy to print. It's quite easy to modify, and it is. I would argue someone on our Discord told me that Gridfinity is the only project they'd ever seen that justifies buying a printer, and I'm not sure I agree with that. But it if you're on the fence, it's a good reason to push you over. I'm really proud of the system.
So this is actually something I created for the Gridfinity system. I took the base. This actually locks onto a Prusa MK3
Hmm.
and sits on top of the power. And so these are the different pieces, and it's magnetized. It's a great little system. It holds the bottle and brushes and wrenches and everything.
I hope you used PETG or ABS, because that power supply gets hot.
ABS. So, but it's a great little system, a great little system. And then I printed out, there's one that doesn't have the base for magnets, and you can put it in. I've even got a file drawer where I screwed it in, and I created my own file systems to toss things in.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. It's a really
Awesome.
good system if you don't know it.
Yeah, the community has done a phenomenal job expanding it and also improving it.
Yeah.
My original designs were very, very inefficient in terms of time and filament, because frankly, I didn't really expect that many people to use
Mm.
them. But community made versions are so good. Some guy, I featured this in a past video. Someone made a version. Someone made this Gridfinity bins that use cardboard toilet paper tubes as sidewalls.
I haven't
So
seen that one.
it reuses like garbage, and it takes like a tenth of the time to print. It's the smartest thing ever.
Huh. I have not seen that one. That's pretty cool. I
They
was
originally
looking.
called it Shitfinity. It was originally a joke print, but it turned out to actually be useful.
That is funny. Right now there's over 23K uh, items on Thangs for that system.
A lot of those are re-uploads of the same thing, and like different variants of the same
Variants.
item, like a 1x3 version and a 2x3 version that they just upload separately to puff their numbers up. It's not really that high. I think the current total is close to, it's somewhere around 5,000, I think.
Yeah. And it
Which is
actually
still a
has its
lot.
own category on things. Like Courtney is rightfully saying, I mean, Gridfinity gets its own category on things. That says something.
Gridfinity, Gridfinity, I think Gridfinity like kind of kept that site alive because this was so I well when I uploaded it, printables was still kind of it was still kind of sketchy. I didn't really I liked so printables at the time didn't have the 3D model feature that let you actually look at it, and that's
Right.
something I really wanted. So in part that's why I uploaded to things. In part they're just fresh in my mind because I had recently done a sponsored video for them. But I think Gridfinity like kept that company afloat. I wonder what would have happened to things if my original Gridfinity hadn't been hosted there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a Printcraft is asking, are there any rules around having a special height box that don't follow standard heights? There are no real rules to Gridfinity, are there?
Well, I mean, think about it. I have no way to. How
Yeah.
would I enforce a rule?
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't enforce the rule. Therefore, the only rule that matters is the MIT license, which is basically by downloading this or doing something with it, you agree not to sue me.
Right. Right.
But apart from that, do whatever the hell you want. It's generally a good idea to it's it's generally a good idea to kind of keep the height a multiple, but that's only because it'll make it look cleaner
Hmm.
when the whole system is set
Yeah.
up. But no, I got no way to
Yeah.
enforce it. I can't take the crap down.
I think the only rule I ever remember, and it wasn't necessarily a rule, it was more of a suggestion, was don't hang it on a wall. That was in his very first video, but I think
Yeah, don't
that's
turn
kind
it
of
sideways. It's not designed for that.
yeah. So that's awesome. Okay, so Gridfinity, we got the eyepiece. Now, one of the other projects. Now, if you go in the Discord, guys, and I'm always going to do this when I say Discord. Go to the Discord.
Ooh, fancy.
There's a lot of projects going on in there. I try not to speak of them just because then people start asking questions. Like when I'm with you, I don't want to say, "Hey, what's happening to that keyboard project?" Or
Oh, I can tell you. I got nothing to hide.
but there's always really cool projects in there. There's a lot of different rooms for you to step into and just find something that you can kind of plug yourself into and make something that can be really, really neat. If you're into keyboards, there's a really good modular keyboard thing happening over there that I'm excited about. I'm waiting for it to flesh out a little bit more before I jump into it.
Yeah, the Mirage is so that's the name of the project.
Right.
The Mirage is a modular keyboard that I was working on, designed to be modified. The idea was to make like the most hackable keyboard. And basically where I left the project, had I didn't really like where the project was. The kind of as it stood, the way modules that weren't keyboard keys attach, just I wasn't really comfortable with how that was working. So it needs a redesign. But also the flood damaged a lot of the materials. The circuit boards are still all right. My prototypes still work, but a lot of the materials were damaged, and it's it just became very disorganized and messy because I had to like distribute it across multiple boxes. Basically, where the project is now, it's a very time consuming project to bring it further,
Hmm.
and I'm having a hard enough time getting enough videos done on time without that. So it's kind of where it stands.
Yeah.
But I think I'm thinking over. So kind of my plans here are like my next video is something kind of self-indulgent that shows off a lot of techniques.
Ooh.
Following that, we're going to do the Nerf blaster. We're going to pick up the Every Filament series. We're going to get started on that Gridfinity Gridfinity wall mount system, like the smart light up Gridfinity.
Right.
But then I want to try to get the Mirage back underway. I really want to get that project done.
Yeah.
That was it's so much fun. That thing is going to be so friggin' expensive if I eventually sell it. It's going
Yeah.
to be so expensive. Well, but the fun part is you get to decide whether you want the whole schmear or you just want a keyboard, because the keyboard part is not expensive.
Right.
It's if you want the works.
It's all the other modular pieces that snap into the
Right.
sides and everything, and it's a
Right.
really neat, really neat system. I think it's going to go somewhere. I really do.
I think it's going to be fun. Like the whole idea is that it's all modular. You can use whatever key switches you want. Uh, oh man, it's fun. But like, you know, for instance, I want to add pogo pins to the modules to open up more space on the circuit board to put stuff. Those are fairly expensive. But like, yeah, you can put in LEDs. You can decide not to. It's all socketed. You can use Kale switches and you can use cherry switches. Everyone who doesn't know about mechanical keyboards does not know what the hell I am talking about. The board, the circuit board lets you do a gasket mount, a plate mount, a circuit board mount. I'm gonna stop harping on it. It's a very complicated project, but
It's
a lot of there's really once I figure out the attachment system for the attachment system for the modules, like for knobs and stuff, and I kind of rationalize the shape and form factor of the board. Once I'm done with those, it just comes down to making a production candidate.
Okay.
So
well, that's cool. Hey guys,
it's exciting.
We're going to be nearing the end here soon, so keep getting your questions into the peanut gallery and let me know what you're interested in. I'm going to kind of veer into some other topics here as we go. There are a few questions I have here, like somebody's asking, "Where's Mariah?"
What's that?
It just says, "This is from Neokoi Print. Where's Mariah Zack?"
Oh, all right. So last Irmer, he gave me a Hugh Forge print of a Mariah Carey album.
Gotcha.
That appeared in the background of an episode.
Okay.
It fell off the wall and landed behind a huge pile of filament. And I am too afraid to reach back behind it and grab it because I think I'll knock over the pile of filament.
What's your favorite ice cream?
My favorite ice cream depends how I'm feeling. Mint chocolate chips is a safe choice.
Okay, that's 2 weeks in a row, guys. We've had mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, pistachio is nice. I seem to have a thing about the color green.
Okay.
Any of you Canadians familiar with Tiger Tail ice cream? That's licorice and orange. It's pretty rad. I'm honestly not a huge ice guy. I prefer Italian ice.
Okay.
Give me black cherry Ritas anytime.
Ooh.
I take one taste of black cherry Ritas immediately. I am back at Coney Island.
That's cool. That was one question I had. So you like to cook. Do you have a signature dish?
I like making a lot of stuff. Signature dish is probably I don't know. I make a good chili. I like putting short ribs in it, deglaze the pan with some bourbon and burn it off. Throw a bunch of beans in there. Here in Colorado, we have awesome chilies. We got great hatch chilies coming up from New Mexico. Get a bunch of those in there. I don't know. I like the challenge of making something new. Brooke is going to say she likes my Japanese curry. I make a good curry rice.
Ooh, that sounds nice. Yeah,
the secret ingredient, a lot of Worcestershire sauce and a little bit of pumpkin spice.
I would have never thought pumpkin spice. I have to think on that one. I have a portobello pasta thing that I've been working on for several years that I really like. A little cayenne pepper, a little.
I'm not much of a recipe innovator. I am not very good at coming up with new drinks, and I'm not good at coming up with new cocktails and recipes. I'm more a cook by the book kind of guy.
I was kind of one. I wasn't a total latchkey kid, but I was the oldest of 4 children and had to take care of them and cook periodically. And so I started cooking at a very young age and just enjoyed doing it. So
cocktails I think are more interesting because a lot of people are going to ask, like, what's your favorite cocktail? I think it's more interesting, like, which cocktails should you try? One of the cocktails I think everyone who likes cocktails should try is called My Old Piano, and it's from I'm Just Here for the Drinks by Souther Teague. You can find the recipe online, and it is a cocktail designed to taste like a dusty lacquered piece of wood, and that sounds bizarre, but it's a hell of a cocktail. Also recommend if you ever had a bamboo, you should try that too. Okay. Also, if anyone asks for a dry martini, try a tuxedo. It is it is the driest martini you could possibly imagine. They will never ask for a dry martini again. Cocktail I like the most though. Cocktail I like the most though is definitely the Remember the Maine. It's like an old fashioned with a little bit of absinthe, a little bit of cherry liqueur.
Ah,
Mm.
nice, nice. I like your cup. That's one of my favorite cups. I love it.
Got it at our Murph.
Uh-huh. Woohoo. Well, let's see. We got
Yeah, 3D gloop.
let's see. Da, da, da. Did that company ever reach out to you to sell you the bench?
The bench. What's the bench?
In
No, they
frog
haven't.
in frog pajamas is asking out. Did the company ever reach out to you to sell the bench? We'll come back to that later. Let's see. Better. There was something about. Oh, do you use roe cube for that curry? For your curry, do you use roe cube?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can't make the roux yourself. That's not. It's inauthentic.
Sorry, out in Louisiana, I
No,
say roe.
you gotta get the box. You gotta get the box curry. That's what makes it authentic. Coke. I like Kokumaro,
Okay.
Java curry, and Vermont curry, all spicy. If you ain't spicy, I don't consider you a human.
First 3D printer.
First 3D printer was a Replicator 2.
Wow.
I bought it. A client commissioned me to basically make a chunk of plastic that looked like their prototype, so they could get some feedback. They paid me in Bitcoin because it was supposed to be a Bitcoin wallet. I immediately sold half that Bitcoin and used it to buy the printer. If I'd kept the Bitcoin, it would be worth somewhere around $200,000. I regret everything I've ever done. But most important part of that printer was I used it to print a bracelet for Brooke. The first time she came over to my apartment, the first time we met, and she ended up becoming my wife. So that 3D printer ignited a fuse that blew up with me marrying the love of my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was such a dog shit printer. Holy crap, that printer was bad.
Isn't it crazy where printers are now?
Oh, printers are so good now.
Yeah, and we're so close to the appliance idea. We
Oh,
really, really
I'm
are.
not sure we'll ever reach it, but honestly, like they're not that hard to use anymore. Like between auto bed leveling, now auto bed leveling, jam detection, not break detection, jam detection, like that detects motion,
Right.
and input shaper. Between all those, like the printers are
Yeah.
almost where they need to be. They're still too slow, but I don't think laws of physics will ever allow a printer that's as fast as I want it.
Do you think we're gonna stick with the FDM style, or are we gonna move more towards an MSLA if we can ever get to color? What kind of future do you see in that?
I mean, at this point, FDM is so well developed. It's so well developed, well accepted, well understood, and most importantly, cheap.
Yeah.
I don't really see us moving away from it.
Okay.
On top of that, like on top of that, like the powders and resins are just really messy. They're really messy, so I don't think a lot of folks want to deal with it. And most importantly, FDM is the only printing process that, if you're smart, never requires cleanup. You can pop it right off the plate and immediately start using it. That is profoundly critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Expecting people to wash and cure a resin print, or put your MSLA print in like a tumbler or something.
Right.
That's crazy. People won't put up with that shit.
Yeah. No, I won't
It's already
disagree
a
with that.
huge it's already a huge ask to have them buy the printer, buy the material, and then store both of those things.
Yeah. So are we going to jump straight from FDM to matter compiler then?
No, I think no, I think the level of tech I I very rarely say something that can be that like I could definitively be laughed at in the future, but I truly think we are in the golden age of technology. I don't think anything is improving past this
Okay.
point.
So is this your
This is the high point.
Okay. Okay. So
Our
this is
computer
your John C. Dvorak moment.
Yep, the computers aren't getting faster, humans aren't getting smarter, 3D printers I mean, they have some room to grow, but not much.
Okay.
Food ain't getting tastier, we aren't getting along anymore. We aren't getting along to a greater degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope, this is good as it gets.
This is it. Okay.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it, guys.
Every human who ever lived and ever will live will be envious of this time.
There you go. There you go. And then there was AI. Let's see. We won't dig into that. That could be another hour. So okay. 2 sentences. Opinion on AI.
Useful when it's useful, worthless when it's not.
Okay. All right. Very concise. Excellent.
I
Excellent.
I I know. Uh, and what's it good for? It's good for three things: interpreting an enormous boring document like a legal brief, cranking out artwork when you need a bunch of artwork and it doesn't make sense to hire anyone, and making puns. As weird as it sounds, ChatGPT and similar transformer AIs are phenomenal at wordplay.
Huh. That's cool.
But problem is, they're trained on humans. The best case scenario is they match your average person. And if you
Right.
would commission your average person to do a job, you should really not be doing that job in the first place.
Hmm. Okay. Um, a little known secret. It might be more known than I know. You have one kidney?
Where did I mention that in the video?
That's in your blog.
Oh yeah. It's a condition called a horseshoe kidney where they never fully divide.
Okay.
Doesn't have any. The only health effect is I get dehydrated more easily. But apart from that, it only matters if I get stabbed in the kidney or if someone steals my kidney because I got no redundancy.
Okay.
Yeah, please don't steal my kidney. I'm using it. I don't have a backup.
Definitely using it. Definitely using it. All
Oh
right.
yeah, I drink a lot. I need that kidney of water.
Of water. Of water.
Yeah, I know the liver. The liver is where the alcohol happens.
Yeah. It's good. He's cleansing. Always cleansing. Guys, what other questions do you have? This is about it. I have so many more, but I want to make sure you get your questions in, and I don't want to keep him too late. I know we've had a question, favorite filament. So you've used all the filaments.
I've used a lot of filaments. I have a lot of favorite filaments. I guess some ones I would recommend that I don't think are well known enough. Pardon. First, PCTG. PCTG is like PETG, but strictly better. There are the downsides are very easy to work around. PCTG is awesome. The only reason it's so expensive is because more people aren't asking for it, but
Okay.
it's like PETG better. Second thing, lightweight PLA and lightweight ASA. They can carve up to 60% of the weight off a project, which, like, if you need it, there is no better way to do it. Like, we're talking 3D prints that are less dense than balsa wood. What's some
Wow.
other fun stuff? TPU. A lot of people are still afraid of printing TPU, but you can do all kinds of stuff with it. It's flexible, but also it's basically invincible. And let me think of one more filament everyone should know about. What's oh man, what's a good one? What's something I could recommend to lots and lots of people? Chameleon filament. So chameleon filament is chameleon is like it's like an additive
Right.
that it's sort of like a glitter, but it changes color depending on which angle the light strikes it, and it makes glorious looking prints that look so good on camera, and it's so cheap. Yeah, I think it's sold as they call it like Comet or Stellar or something. Like, it's got spacey names, but it's so nice looking.
Okay.
Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head,
Okay.
but there's great filaments out
I
there.
don't know that one. I don't know that one. That one's interesting. All right, guys, last chance. Having problem
Yes.
printing Pet G. It's like becomes spotty. Yes, it's dry. That's funny. Oh, that's the first answer. Is Pet G dry? What printer are you using?
Having a hard time printing it. All right, so PTG can spoil. If PTG takes on too much water or certain chemicals, it can permanently crystallize and it never prints right. So I would say it's most likely that reel is shot. You should just throw it out and get a new reel.
Okay. If you take a crystallized Pet G like that and you put it in a dryer,
no, it can't be reversed.
It can't be reversed. It's too annealed to.
It hydrolyzes.
Hydrolyzes. Okay.
Yeah, it chemically reacts with the water and changes its crystal structure.
Okay.
It becomes less of a thermoplastic. It doesn't. In other words, it stops being able to melt.
Okay.
So even if you can print it, it ends up opaque instead of transparent, and your print will break along those lines. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the nature of the game. Most modern PETGs have additives that slow that down. But especially if it's old, especially if it's one of the older PETGs sold as CPE or copolyester, uh, it often does not. It yeah, it could have crystallized. If it breaks, if it like breaks easily when you snap it, and it has a glassy surface on
Right.
the break. It's probably hydrolyzed.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, I think you're screwed.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So are you, besides filament, are you a materials guy? Do you like?
Not really. Not really. I don't. I The 3D printer is special among. That's the way of saying it. 3D printer is special among CNC tools in that it can largely replace any sort of hand fabrication. Um, plain and simple, I just don't do a lot of projects that need a CNC. So I always kind of orient my projects to be able to be 3D printed if possible. If not, I generally pick a different project. CNCs are just they take a lot of space. They take a lot of babysitting. They make large projects, which I generally try to avoid, and they're very technical.
Yeah.
I honestly, if I can make it with a 3D printer, I'd just rather make those projects. You don't have to make every project you think of. You can pick the projects based on the circumstances.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I've looked at CNC, like I've printed all the parts from mostly printed CNC, and I started looking at it and going, I don't
I'd
know
be
about this.
I'd be skeptical. Like the rigidity of the CNC is what makes a
Yeah.
good CNC good. Uh, but yeah, they are they're tricky. They're tricky tools. I mean, they're
Yeah.
worth it. Ba- Stuff that you have to mill, you can't possibly print. The overlap is not significant. So like you're gonna pick the tool you use based on the project you build. Don't buy the tool and then hope for the project. Like start with the project, pick the tool for it. Same with learning.
I like
Pick the
that.
project, learn the skills you need to get through it. Otherwise, you will always have an excuse to never finish a project.
I like that. Pick the project, find the tool.
It's on top of that, like it also saves a bunch of time and money
Yeah.
because tools cost money and they take time to get set up. You end up focused so much on the tool instead of the projects because you don't have a project in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
So,
focus on the project.
yeah. So and this will be my last question, guys, and
All
we're going to
right.
kind of working our way down. So when you're getting ready for a project, do you ever
Mhm.
find yourself like brain blocked, or you don't want to move forward, or you're done for a short amount of time, you're burned out? I know as creators creating online stuff, we all kind of deal with some interest like depression or ADHD or just different things. Do you have?
Yeah, I find I have a very hard time maintaining enthusiasm for something past about 2 weeks. But life sucks where I at. It's my job.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's my job, and whether I enjoy it or not is a long term thing. It's a sustainability issue, not a short term issue. If I don't want to work, I mean, tough nuggets. Then I work and I don't want to. Like if I get brain blocked, tough nugget, tough titties, just keep going. Like if it's very rare, like I'm talking like over my entire career, I've only had like 2 or 3 times where I am 100% stumped. I'm like, this project is at an impasse. I cannot move forward. I just cannot figure this out, or I figured it out, but the amount of time it would take to implement is not possible. And occasionally it's yeah, like if I have a video that I've just lost all enthusiasm for, it comes down to this: like, are viewers interested in seeing this? Right? Because if viewers want to see it, I can get inside their head and I can give them what they need. But if viewers don't want to see it and I don't want to work on it and it's not worth finishing, why the hell am I working on it? I'll just scrap it. I've scrapped tons of videos.
Okay.
It's yeah, I mean, look, if I were is that the right decision? Probably not, because I'm constantly complaining about not getting enough videos out. But like at the end of the day, I would rather make one video a month if it's a hell of a video that I am proud of for years down the line,
Right.
instead of 2 videos that like eh. But I mean, look, it's important to remember that. What's the way of saying it? It's important to remember two things when it comes to projects, right? You either are making the project for a reason or you're making the project for a purpose, right? If it's for a reason, you can ask yourself, is that reason still valid, right? Like if I'm building, I don't know, like I'm building a Nerf blaster for an upcoming Nerf war, right? Am I okay going to that Nerf war without that blaster? Because if not, well, who cares if I want to work on it? I got to get it done. If the purpose doesn't exist anymore, if I can be like, I could just use one of my existing ones, or like I just thought it'd be cool to show off, yeah, then you can scrap it.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the project for a purpose is just a fancy way of saying for other people. And if you're serving other people, what kind of selfish bastard do you have to be to say I'm bored of to say I was doing this to help some people and I'm bored of it, so they can they can kick rocks. Like you are not that selfish. Once you think about the situation you're in, you realize, it will free you up. I'm telling you. Like if you refocus on why you're making the project in the first place, 9 times out of 10 it fires me up again. Getting
Mm.
back in touch with why I started this, what the point of finishing it is, and how close I am to that finish point.
Mm.
But look, at the end of the day, when it comes to your job, I guess especially if you have people depending on you, how dare you decide not to? How dare you decide I have writer's block or I can't work today? How dare you? That's not your decision to make.
Mm.
You like yeah, if you have people depending on you and you say like I just can't make myself work, you owe it to the people who depend on you to march up to them, look them in the eye, and tell them, our situation is very stressful because I don't want to work today. If you don't have the heart to do that, get your butt back to that computer.
Mm. Wow. There you go.
And look, when it comes to ADHD, I don't know. Like ADHD is a huge problem. It really does constrain how much I can do. It's a constant thorn in my side. If I could cure it instantly, I wouldn't even think about it. I would snatch that up. But look, the world doesn't care. They don't care. They never will. I know it sucks to hear, but like we don't really care about each other. That's kind of how the world works. It's up to you to find people who do care about you and will accommodate for you. Those people are one in a million. You should seek them out because they do exist, and you should form strong relationships with them because it'll change your life. But when it comes to strangers, they don't care. They just want results. My sponsors could care less. If I said my video is coming out in the 9th rolls around, they want that video. If not, they're calling a lawyer.
Yeah.
So don't lose focus on why you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And also just to complete the thought, this is not a negative thing, right? Because very few people undergo a long-term effort for spite or hatred or drudgery or obligation. Most people start long-term projects because there's something profound that they want at the end of it. Don't lose touch of that.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of my goals this year is finding people with problems I can solve. Relationship is kind of my word for this year, and finding people through adversity.
Don't forget to let it cut the other way.
Yeah. And, because I believe that through adversity, through solving problems together, through being, entrenched in each other's lives, we find those people that you're talking about that actually care about you and will stick around.
And yeah, don't be afraid to flip that around too. Like if there are people out there who you will find people who sincerely want to help you. Don't turn them away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed this a lot. I really, really did.
Yeah, this is fun. I like having a bunch of audiences in a bunch of different places feeding a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, guys, hey, if you don't follow Zack and you watch this interview, this was your first night to see him, and you found something interesting about what he does and about his philosophy and his the way he looks at the world and he looks at his channel, go follow him. Go be a part of that community. Jump into the Discord. We'll hit that button one more time. Jump into that Discord and become a part of his community and just really dig in. Yes, sir.
My videos are much more silly and much less preachy than I am coming off here.
They are fun videos. They are fun videos. Well, man, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience before I drop you back to the green room?
I'm not sure if you got super chats and Twitch subscriptions turned on, but click that button. Click that button. Support the interviewer. If you're in podcast land, don't forget to review the episode. All that good stuff. You could find me on youtube.com/Zack Freedman. Join the Discord. We try extremely hard to make it a place where anyone who makes anything can feel comfortable. And that's discord.gg/voidstarlab.
Awesome.
But yeah, finish your friggin' projects.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you. I'll catch you in the green room in just a second. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate y'all being a part of the show. Thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for jumping in. And just, I always call y'all my producers. Y'all help me with the show. Y'all really, really do. And I appreciate the value that y'all add to the show. And I hope I hope I'm giving value to you as well. But remember, we have some different things coming up. This Saturday, we're doing an AI class on the Discord. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we have an AI class, AI prompting by Modern Magician. Next week, we're doing Juan Makes is going to be our interview. He's got a Batman and another really big project that he's working on, and we're excited to see that. We'll be in New York for Cookie Cat on the 20th. We'll be doing a lot of other things coming up. We've got Wine and Paint coming up on March 28th, so look out. Those announcements are coming soon. So thank y'all so much. If you get a chance, let Zack know how much you appreciate it. Become a part of his community over there and just really, really dig into that. You can see he's an awesome guy. He wants the best, and he's somebody that's worth supporting. So remember, live life to the fullest, grow in wisdom, and share what you have learned generously. See y'all next week, guys.